Okay. All right.
Okay.
Anyways.
So we move on to The Frontier Lord begins with 0 subjects. Episode 1. And our boy narrates how he was half forced to leave the royal capital, and they get to his new domain, and it's just a giant ass field of grass called the Grassland of Nezros, and he is now known as Diaz Nezros.
Real quick, this is what Greg's domain expansion full bust looks like after the black walls close in and all of the full bust is cleaned up.
Like nothing is left but grass, even no
but
people.
Grass. It's a beautiful meadow.
My domain expansion is going to restore the world.
Yeah, it really is. One full bust at a time.
But he continues his narration, and he was awarded the domain for his time in war, and he doesn't know much about being a lord, but apparently it's to live there and protect his subjects and collect money from them and give it to the king, aka taxes. He drinks some creek water and eats some grass, and he's like, damn, this fucking sucks, and contemplates leaving and going to live in a nearby village instead to honor his parents' dying wish of being useful.
He is so fucking jacked, by the way.
Yeah, I identify with this guy a lot.
Oh, do you, Greg?
Yeah, we'll get there.
Okay, great. Those muscles are fucking insane.
He falls asleep, but is woken up by a girl. And she's like, what are you doing out here, you dummy? And he's like, I don't know, sleeping? I don't have an education. And she's like, you dumb, but why are you here? And he says he wants to protect the weak and be useful. That's his purpose. The girl's horn on her head glows. And she's like, why you no lie? Tell me some fucking lies. But Diaz is like, oh shit. Well, this is my domain. She's in it. That means she's a subject and I'm her lord. And she isn't happy, and he gets up and he's like, I'm a motherfucking ally and I'll fuck up anyone to protect you. And her horn full busts and she's like, come with me. And they're off. Oh, and then my note says, I like the MC dude. Very relatable. And the girl's voice is Momo from Dan to Dan. Did you notice that?
I was like, I recognize that voice. Whose fucking voice is that? And then,
that's Momo.
Wow. I'm going to get more mad at this show. I know it. I'm just going to, I know it in my heart.
Yeah, probably next episode you're going to get mad. But she takes him to their nomad village to see the chieftain. And the chieftain is like, you want to be allies with me too? And Diaz is like, sure. This is my domain, so you're my subjects. And Alna gets mad. And the chieftain is like, hold up. Tell me everything from the beginning. Diaz starts from his childhood and how his parents taught him to protect the weak and be useful. But when he was 10, his parents died in an epidemic, and he hung out with the other orphans, and they did odd jobs like keeping the town clean and fighting weak monsters to make money. When he was 15, war broke out and he volunteered to be a soldier to protect his friends. But it turns out he was pretty good at war. Then 20 years later, the war ended, and the king awarded him a domain for his service. The chieftain is like, sick. If we weren't your subjects, would you still be our ally? And he's like, well, I don't know, probably. We live on the same prairie. But Diaz is like, wait a minute. And they're like, yep. We are enemies of the king, and have been fighting the kingdom for many years. But you're a very rare blue, so maybe we can get along. Now it's my turn to tell a story. And the chieftain says her name is Mole and part of the Onikin tribe and have fought for this grassland. And 50 years ago, they lost a great battle and had to flee. Diaz is like, if you ran, then how are you back here? And she says they store mana in their horns and can cast spells, and one of them is concealment, and they can hide their entire village with it. Diaz is like, shit, that's why I didn't see you yesterday, but should you be telling me this when I'm with the kingdom? And she's like, well, if you weren't blue, then I wouldn't have told you. And they also have a spell called Soul Appraisal, and in the presence of danger, their horn glows red. In harmless, it glows white, and blue means that person will bring joy and blessings, and she says she has never seen a dude so honest. She says she hopes he becomes a sick lord, but they can't be his subjects, but they can provide him with food and shelter and some livestock in exchange for not saying anything about the village, including to the king. He's like, sick, sounds good. As long as you don't fight the kingdom while I'm around, then I'm good. And Mole is like, you can take Alna for now and learn some shit. Alna is like, what the fuck? And Mole says, you brought him here, so he's your responsibility. Some other dudes build Diaz a yurt, and he's like, hey, yo, thanks, dogs. But they don't seem to like Diaz very much. And Alna says they'll deliver food and livestock later, and I'll teach you how to take care of them. Diaz is like, sweet. Can you teach me how to get more subjects? And she's like, fuck no. What would you do with subjects anyway, since nothing is fucking here? And he's like, oh, yeah, true. But she gives him a bag of matani dust, which attracts beasts. And if you hunt them and bring the meat and hides to the village, you can trade it for more yurts. And Diaz is like, fuck yeah, now you're talking my language. Don't need to use your head to hunt. Diaz runs off and he's like, well, I don't know how much of this shit I'm supposed to use. Might as well use the whole bag. And then he just bats it with his axe. And then a stampede of beasts come and he's like, sick, time to turn you into yurts. And then he just barbarian whirlwinds in the cow level. And he's like, damn, half got away. But oh well.
That is literally what happens. 100%. Greg, what a brain you have on you.
But then he's like, how do I carry these 9 million cow carcasses I killed? He's like, well, I'll just carry them one by one, I guess. And Alna will probably be mad that I went on a cow killing rampage. But he gets back and Mole is there with some sheep, aka bars. And Alna is like, sick dude, you killed a black ghee. One is plenty. And he's like, well, I hunted like a whole herd and couldn't carry back the other 40. And she's like, damn, that's fucking manly as fuck. Alna runs off to get some dudes to help carry the geese. And Mole is like, hey, yo, dog, you manly as fuck. And he's like, why do you keep saying manly? And she says a dude's value is in if he's a hard worker and reliable. And he's like, oh, what does that have to do with Alna being in a good mood, though? And Mole is like, she's a grown-ass woman, and she loves manly. And Diaz is like, does manly make you more attractive? And she's like, no. What makes you more attractive is a t-shirt from it-aesthetics.com, where Diaz used promo code TABC10 or TABC5 at checkout to save himself 10% or $5, stacking with any coupons they have going on at the time to get a manly shirt like the one that DJ Montague is wearing right now, or the one that I am wearing right now.
Greg, that was so good. Oh my God, look at his muscles. Greg's jacked, everybody.
I'm Diaz. I'm manly.
Yeah.
And you too can be manly like Diaz by visiting it-aesthetics.com and using promo code TABC10 at checkout or TABC5 for $5 off stacking with any coupon that they have going on at the time. It's rainy as fuck right now. It's storming. So if you can hear rain or if the recording picks up rain, I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, I think we'll be all right because it rained over here the other day and my whole power cycled in the house and didn't turn off everything. So it was crazy. I just stayed live. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah.
You stayed live with the power of love.
Luck.
Yeah.
I believe in anything called love.
But no, the t-shirt didn't make Diaz more manly. Diaz was like, does doing all those things make you attractive? Like, what about conversation and good looks? And Mole is like, fuck that. More manly, more eat food. No manly, no woman. Nah, I mean. Diaz is like, well, that's crazy. Way different from the kingdom. And Mole is like, marry that shit, man. And Diaz is like, nah, man, what? And Mole is like, don't worry. You guys can have lots of kids. Horns don't matter. Diaz wakes up the next day and Alna is making breakfast. And he's like, this is fucking delicious. And Alna is giving him the sexy eyes and is like, what you hunting today, hot stuff? And Diaz is like, damn, was yesterday not enough for you? And Alna says, no, I need more if you want a well in a bathroom. And Diaz is like, maybe I'll just hunt more black geese. But Alna is like, nah, you got to switch it up. Switch positions. How about a monster?
Greg.
Yes?
Greg.
Yeah? Is something wrong?
Is something amiss? Have I said something awkward or untrue? No, you haven't. This is what makes me mad about the show. It's so fucking, it feels forced. Like, it's very true what Hermit said earlier, dude. It feels like very much written by a lonely dude who is way too concerned with being manly and people not respecting manliness enough in modern society. Like, I understand the difference between the past and the present, where I say this all the time when talking about relationships, because I often go into this when talking about our history as people. In the past, you looked for reliability when it comes to people putting food on your table and being able to be taken care of in whatever capacity that is, whether you are the hunter or the gatherer in the situation. You weren't looking at emotional support. It was being able to provide something. So like men would hang out with men because that was their emotional support, and women would hang out with women for their emotional support. And it's like, well, are you fed? Do you have clothing? Do you have a house? And that was like the main points of why this relationship is working. Not whether the sex is good, not whether you're attracted to this person physically. And I think in a world of today, we've lost a lot of that, and for good reason, because provider doesn't always mean a healthy relationship. It just means that you're taken care of enough to survive. And survival isn't the answer right now in the world. Survival is like, we can all do that for ourselves. You can go work a job. You can go provide for yourself to a certain degree. The new provider is someone that provides you with stability in terms of mental health and physical well-being. Not like, oh, I went and, I killed an elk. Why don't you love me more? It's, oh, I listened to you in the problems of what's going on in your day-to-day life. Does that fulfill your heart? The difference in that.
Well, I don't disagree with what you said, but I have to insert myself into the story until the story gives me a reason to break immersion. Like Wistoria, Solo Leveling, Failure Frame. They all gave me reasons to break the immersion of the story. Right now on episode 1, and to be fair, episode 2, it hasn't given me a reason to break my immersion yet. So we don't know what time frame this is in. Obviously, they're using magic. He has an axe. They're talking about soldiers with armors and swords. So it's not like...
It's high fantasy.
Yeah, so we're in a period, and what this clan sounds like, this nomad clan that got ran out of the grasslands 50 years ago, that is their priority currently, which is survival. And if you can provide, then that makes you more attractive. It was like back in the day, like the fatter you were, the more attractive you were, because when you
had more money.
Yeah, you had more money, you had more food, you got to eat like the good stuff. Mm-hmm. And like right now, like, yes, if you apply current day societal standards onto the interaction that's happening right now, it's vastly on the other side of the spectrum, which I get. And I see where you're coming from, but like for me right now, like I'll let myself just be absorbed in the world until they do something that really irritates me to the point that it brings me out of it. Like if there's some sort of weird plot hole, or they have like a bunch of MacGuffins that will pull me out of what the story is, I will accept it for what it is currently.
I just look at it as a mental health thing where, like, there are still some people in the world today that want to be taken care of in this regard. But I have a friend that she's currently dating someone she's not attracted to at all. She, in fact, labeled him as ugly as shit, and she's with him because he provides a lot of money and it lets her do the things that she wants to do. And like, that's just a sugar daddy, but I don't like, it seems like a very one-sided thing, but it could be, both of them are happy. He wants to be able to provide that for somebody and somebody to call his own. And she just wants to be taken care of, and got more power to him.
You see the Instagrams and the podcasts with the girls that are like, oh man, only 6'7" has to make minimum $5 million a year. Like, I'm worth it. And if someone wants someone else that talks like that and acts like that, and obviously like is looking to, like, doesn't really provide any value aside from their body,
their looks.
Yeah, so it's like, if someone wants that, like, I don't agree with it. I think it's very shallow. I don't think it's healthy at all. But if this is what these two individuals have a consensual mutual agreement that this is the relationship they're going to enter. I don't agree with it, but I'm not going to be up in arms about it and be like, this shouldn't happen. Like, it should be different. So I don't know. I mean, I guess like looking at it in the light of this, Alna currently sees someone for her that is able to fulfill the needs of what they currently deem important for the Onikin, I should say. And you know, at least Diaz is kind of like, nah, man, that's kind of fucking weird right now. And he hasn't like agreed to anything and he's not doing whatever yet. So, I mean, he's just kind of going with the flow right now. They said he's not educated, right? This guy went from literally 10 years old to losing his family instantly into fighting war, and all he knows how to do is swing an axe. So this guy isn't the brightest. I'm giving the anime the benefit of the doubt currently. But yes, I mean, it could go off the rails extremely quick here if they make like one wrong move for me.
And I agree. And onward we go.
It cuts to Diaz brushing the sheep/bars, and he says their value is in their wool, not their meat. And he's like, you like this shit, Francis? And Francis is like, bah, this is great. And then it's Francois' turn, and then Francois gets brushed too. The Onikin dudes roll up, and they're like, DS, yo, what up, man? What's good? We got some dried meat and blankets. But the yurts are on hold since the craftsmen are busy. And he's like, no problem, no rush, and thinks the dudes like manliness too. Alna leaves the yurt and is like, DS, I'm ready to go. And all the dudes are like, oh, fuck, look at that hottie. And DS is like, oh, her makeup is different. And she's like, don't worry, the dudes will watch the bars. You can have me all day. And now the dudes are mad at DS again because he's too manly.
Yeah, that all happened.
Yeah. They go hunting, and Alna casts some magic and shit and tracks a monster. And he's like, sick, you stay here. I got this. And she's like, nah, I go. And I can go invisible. So if it's too much, we can run. And he's like, well, if you aren't in danger, then all right. They get to the destination, and Alna is like, oh shit, that's a fucking earth dragon. And Diaz is like, are you sure? It looks like a turtle. I'll just go hit it. And he runs out and he jumps on top of it and just hits the shell, and it cracks his axe. So he goes for the head, but it turtles. And Alna is like, dude, get out of there. You can't take one alone. Diaz is like, no, I'm good. And is just chipping away at the shell, and his axe cracks. But he casts mend and repairs it. And he says he got this axe from a foreign soldier that called himself a shogun or something. And it's got a sick lion on it, and it will repair itself from minor damage occasionally.
Well, it will repair itself eventually. But he also says that he can cast mend at any given time to repair it on the spot.
Yeah, DS is a cool guy.
He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
The CG fight scene, but whatever.
Diaz hacks away into the night and is like, damn, not even a scratch. But Alna is like, damn, this dragon miasma is getting me from over here. And Diaz is like, damn, well, I guess we should just go home. But you know what? One more swing for good luck. And then he breaks the shell, and the earth dragon comes out and starts shooting fireballs. And Alna gets injured. And the turtle is like, fuck yeah, I'll shoot her. He said that with his eyes. The dragon didn't actually talk.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. The dragon didn't talk. It just breathes fire.
Then the turtle gets backshotted by Diaz, and its back gets broken. And Alna is like, fuck yeah, let's get married.
It was me.
Yeah. And then that's how the episode ends.
And she's like, I'm going to marry you.
Yeah. That was nice.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And then you see the outro, and they have the kids in the outro.
Yeah, those are obviously not their kids.
What are you talking about? Those are definitely their kids.
No.
Greg?
Mm-mm.
Greg, those are their kids.
You're my kid. I'm your daddy.
I'm older than you.
Mm-mm.